Okay, so as julle nou julle periodieke tabelle voor julle het, sal ek weer praat oor hierdie groep. Hy gedra homself nog mooi, maar die een aan sy regterkant gedra homself gewoonlik glad nie. So, we're going to leave that one be for now. Then we said this group always has the noble gases. Nee, hy begin mos hierbo met helium. Hulle kan nooit 'n ion wees nie, want hulle het nooit iets wat hulle kan verloor nie. Hulle reageer nooit met enigiets nie. Then group 17, do you guys remember what we call this group? Yay, the halogens. The halogens all tend to gain an electron. Moenie dink hulle verloor 'n proton nie, hulle kan nie protone verloor nie. Hulle tel 'n elektron op en dan het hulle 'n negatief 1 lading. So from our periodic table, we can see that sodium tends to lose an electron, in other words, go positive 1, and chlorine tends to gain an electron, in other words, go negative 1. Okay. So klomp van ons ione gaan jy letterlik net op die periodieke tabel kyk, en as jy daar gekyk het, gaan jy sien na watter lading toe gaan hy gaan. Okay. So let's do another one. I'm still not doing the polyatomic ions. Ons sal daarby uitkom wanneer ons daarby uitkom. Okay. As ek die formule soek vir magnesiumkloried, sien julle weer daai IDE op die einde? Nee? Okay. Magnesium we find in group 2 on the periodic table. Hy lê hierso. So wat het ons gesê van daai groep? Hulle hou daarvan om te gaan Mg2+. They tend to lose 2 of their electrons. Right. Chloor het ons nou al klaar uitgefigure. That we get from the periodic table. Jy hoef nie daaroor te stres nie. Okay? Maklik. Maar nou, ek het positief 2 en negatief 1. So I have positive 2 and negative 1. And I need to get to a netto charge of 0. A total charge of 0. So in other words, do you guys agree that I need 2 of these ions? Ek kort 2 chloried ione om hom te balanseer. But now remember, when we're writing this down, I write it like that. Die klein 2kie kom by die chloor, né? Na die chloor. And once you have this, it's fixed. Then if you're balancing your equations, dan lol jy nie meer met die klein getalletjies nie. Elke magnesiumkloried verbinding in die hele heelal, all of the magnesium chlorides out there, has a 1:2 ratio. That is fixed. That is not for us to determine, it's for us to understand. Sort of. Okay. Goed. Kom ons doen nog ene met magnesium. Ja? Hy moet by 0 uitkom. Dis die belangrike ding. Wat jy ook al doen, hy moet by 0 uitkom. Okay, now, oxide means oxygen, suurstof. So magnesium weet ons nou al is 2+, en suurstof sal ek vir julle sê lê in hierdie ene. Hy lê daar bo. Okay? So if these gain no electrons and these gain 1 electron, how many electrons will this one gain? 2, né? So all of my elements in this group tends to go to an ionic charge of 2 negative. So oxygen goes 2 minus. Okay? So hoe gaan hy met mekaar verbind? How will that bond? 1 to 1, né? Want as jy +2 en -2 het, easy. Hulle kanselleer net mekaar uit. So die formule vir magnesiumoksied lyk net so. Magnesium 1, oxygen 1. But we don't say this is a magnesium oxygen compound, we say it's magnesium oxide, né, daai IDE. Okay, now let's make it a bit more interesting. In your books, on page 19, they gave you a whole table of different anions and cations. I'm going to start with the anions, and I'm going to explain to you how to bond them together. And we're not going to do all of them today because it's way too many. En ek het mos vir julle gesê, julle hoef ook nie julle almal te ken nie. Okay? Ek gaan vir julle op die WhatsApp groep post wat sies julle actually moet ken. En dan as julle almal nou mooi julle handboeke het, dan gaan highlight jy dis wat jy moet ken. Okay. But if I say I'm looking for a calcium, no, let's make it a potassium. It's twee woorde in Engels. Kalium hydroxide. Who can remember what the formula for potassium is? Dit is eintlik makliker vir die Afrikaanse kinders. Dis calcium. It's a K. Okay. Potassium we find in group 1. So in other words, it tends to have a charge of positive 1. Okay. Nou, die van julle wat bladsy 19 voor julle oop het, kyk gou vir my vir die hydroksied. Yeah. OH minus. So this gives us that, and that gives us this. Okay. Wat ek wil hê julle moet vir my doen op bladsy 19. Julle sal sien, hulle sê daar OH minus en dan sê dit hydroksied. Né? In die tabelletjie. That is not completely correct because that is not a hydroxide. It's a hydroxide ion. So write the word ion next to that. Ion. Okay? Jy gaan dit nou nie doen met elke liewe ding in daai tabel nie. Doen dit net met so 3 of 4. Laat jy sien, mens praat van 'n nitraat ion, 'n nitriet ion, 'n permanganaat ion, etc., etc., etc. Okay? But if I ask you to give me the name of this and you call it a hydroxide, I'm going to give you a 0 because that is not a hydroxide. It's a hydroxide ion. Okay. Jy moet dit vir my gaan byskryf daar. Goed, maar nou kom ek terug by hierdie ene. So do you guys agree I have a positive 1 charge and a negative 1 charge? So what will happen there? How will they bond? 1 to 1. So ons skryf hom so. Cool. Okay. Let's level up. I'm going to stick with the hydroxides, but we're going to do calcium hydroxide. Okay, I'll tell you guys on the periodic table, calcium is here in this group. So what will the charge be of calcium? Positive 2. A calcium ion, a calcium ion, that's a calcium ion, né? Nie 'n calcium nie, calcium ion het 'n plus 2 lading. But a hydroxide still has only negative 1. Okay. So how will they bond together? Good. Almost. Well, sort of. Like that. But it's close. What do I need? Yes. Okay. I have to say, I need 2 whole hydroxides. Because if I write this, it means I have 1 calcium, 1 oxygen, and 2 hydrogens, which is something completely different. Okay, so basies wat ons hier sê, is sê nou maar hierdie is my calcium. Then I need a OH attached to that. And another OH. Okay? So ek het my 1 calcium en dan het ek 2 van hierdie groepe. En dit is hoekom ons hulle 'n polyatomiese ioon noem, because that ion is made up of more than 1 atom. But when you are referring to a hydroxide, if you say we need 4 hydroxide ions, then you say in brackets 4 of them or whatever. Hoekom was dit hier nodig nie? Why don't I do it here? Because it is only 1. Okay. So ek gaan nie dan gaan skryf KOH1 nie, because I only need 1. Okay. I'm going to call it there for today.